I just want to thank everyone for coming today for this 60th anniversary. We've got quite a few people here actually, from generations of mid to late 50s, 60s, 70s. We've got the 80s, we've got the 90s crew. They're still over there, and we've got most of the 2000 crew as well. I just want everyone to put their hands together for this event today and thank Bill Richmond for bringing this up. He was the one who contacted me, I think it was, Bill, in regards to this. So thank you very much, Bill. We do have all the free drinks in the Eskies at the moment. When we do run out of them, we're going to have to go to the bar. So sorry guys, they won't be free until they run out. We wanted to have just a couple of talks, probably from some of the old guys as well. So John Black, Fred Nan, if that's all right.
Freddie's older than me.
Just a little bit. Where's your shirt, John? So yeah, if you guys wanted to come up and have a bit of a talk about the times.
Thank you very much indeed, and I've just got to congratulate all you guys that are still in the Dolphins, are still diving, still carrying that name on that we didn't think would possibly ever go on since those very, very early days when we started. I'll give this to Freddie in a minute because he's a little bit older than me, but where I used to live in Alice Street in Souci, Freddie's house was about 2 down and backed on, and we used to have air rifle and slug gun fights over the back fence. And then I joined the swimming club at Souci, and Freddie used to be a swimmer there as well. I met a guy we used to call Brian Little, and he and I started spearfishing, and Freddie started spearfishing with another friend of mine, Kenny Medlin. We both went our own ways, and eventually the 4 of us got together, and the club eventually started. And excuse me, as you say, it's 60 years, and I'm going to give my age away now. I'm 74, so I started when I was 14 years old. And over the back fence, Freddie Saville, Lenny's here today. They had a big elevated house, and underneath was dug out, and we all gathered there, and we actually started our spearfishing club underneath Freddie and Lenny Saville's house way back in those days. We were just a bunch of kids, and we'd go out to Boat Harbour or Bundina, and everything then was by bus or train. Motor vehicles were pretty rare. Freddie had a motorbike, he was a lair, but anyway, he had a motorbike. And we'd be dragging blue groper onto the trolley bus and all this sort of stuff. I look back now and it must have been hilarious, but we all got away with it. And the St George Club heard about it. Billy Lewis, I think, and Ted Louis, and they come over and tried to get our little group to join St George. And we dug our heels in and said, we're going to go independent, we're going to form our own club. Come up with a name, the Souci Dolphins, as we're all in the swimming club. And we're all doing the diving. We're on the top, on the bottom, and up and down, so let's call ourselves the Dolphins. And that's where it originated. And it's just been a great way of life. And I'm sure all you people that are involved with it will find that. Your wives will probably tell you you're very independent, because I think you've got to be when you're in the water. You've got to look after yourself. And the wives have a lot to put up with. We've got quite a few. Still married, still. We'd go to an Alaman Shield and say, see you later, love, and chung off. We'd go for about 4 hours, and we used to have, we had to be a captain of the day, so we had to have a tent, and we had to have the red rolls and the sandwiches, and the ladies had to do all that while we'd go out spear and fish, and then we'd all come back and have a beer and a bit of a gibber and a bit to eat, and that went on every month, and the ladies certainly tolerated the boys, I'm sure of that. And I got to do a bit of crawling to the ladies here. I think you're doing a good job if you can stick with them for a long time, because it is a very individual sport. Except what I've got to say is I was fortunate enough to win an Australian Spearfishing Championship in 1960, and my wife Eva won the ladies on the same day. So I'm in the same tournament. So we're probably the only husband and wife team ever to win it on that one particular year. So that was something. But I keep looking at the spread today, and I got a very old, very well known and very long known. I can't keep calling her old. Dottie Dillon used to be our treasurer and secretary. And if we were going to have a barbecue, she'd say, "You're allowed to buy the meat, but you're not buying any grog." You wouldn't have had a beer here today if she'd have been bloody treasurer. Oh goodness! You've heard that joke about tight as a fish's backside. Well, that was God, she was tough. She was tough. But anyway, she survived, and Bruce was a great mate of mine. That's her husband, Bruce. We went over to Western Australia in an FJ Holden, I should in 62 or 63, 1962, and Dot was in the Mothers Club at the time, and 8.5 months pregnant. We said, "Well, hang on till we get back." And so there was Bruce, myself, and young Robert Hatch. He's a Newcastle diver, and we sat him up behind the steering wheel, and they never caught us. The cops were looking for us because he went into hospital, and they caught up us down at Albany, right down the bottom, and said, "What are you blokes doing?" He said, "It took us about 2.5 days to get there." But we had young Hatchie sitting on a couple of pillows steering the car across the Nullarbor. We had to sleep. It was great. And I went to many Australian spearfishing championships, and then I got involved with the abalone diving like a lot of the other boys in the early days, and I was fortunate enough to score a triple weight at Cuba for the World Championship. Won the Australian Championships with Vic up at Shoal Bay, and when I come back, I went to Malakuta, Victoria, and took out an abalone licence, and I dived for abalone down there for 30 years. So all my diving career sort of finished in 1967. Alan Badger then come into the club as a club champion. I've followed a lot of the boys right through their career, and to me it's an honour to come here today and see all you guys still doing what we love doing. Yeah, Fred.
Thanks, Matt. It's hard to follow an answer like that. But yeah, we started early in the piece there. I think it was about 1953, and there was probably about a dozen of us that were keen, and we used to say to the girlfriends, "Well, we'll go diving one weekend, and then the next weekend we'll have it off with you." Oh, not off. We'll have the weekend off. Slip of the tongue, Freudian. Anyway, it just so turned up that eventually we decided, nah, that wasn't a good idea. We'll go diving every week. So that went down like a lead balloon with all the ladies, and a few of us didn't quite make the distance. Anyway, so we carried on, and as the club got stronger, we picked up a lot of very good members, Rexy Osgood, and quite a few characters came into the club then. And I think we were very fortunate that people like the Savills and so on were in the club at that time. Billy Richmond, who started different things in there like monthly awards and largest fish, and had a record book, which was good. And everybody was chasing around trying to get new records and do new things. So the club was quite interesting in its way. We didn't have a great deal of boats. They were always a bit of a bugbear, so we were doing a lot of diving off the rocks, and we were trying to get, in every club meeting, I think we said, "What about boats? When are we going to get a boat?" But nobody had any bread. I think I was the richest one in the club with a motorbike. And we eventually got to the stage where we got cars, and things went from there, but boats didn't come along for quite some time. But anyway, we still made our way. We didn't do too well in the Alaman Shields because we were all up and coming, but eventually got to the stage where they got pretty good, and they eventually ended up winning the Alaman in about 64 or something, wasn't it?
You can double check it.
Yeah, about 64 I think it was. So things went well. But I mean, to go from a club of half a dozen or a dozen people into a club of 100 and odd, it's a fair thing. And I'm just so appreciative of the fact that the club has continued all that time. We got some wonderful divers that are doing stuff today that we've never ever thought of. I mean, diving 100 feet and shooting a fish is just stupid. I can't believe you blokes do it. Yeah, I don't know what. Maybe it's the beer they drink. Whatever the case, they do it well, and much better than we did. But of course, we're only up and coming, and it took a long time. But the guns they got this era, and flippers and the boats and everything is just that much high tech that everybody is that much better. And when I say better, I don't mean better. They're just more trained, that's all. But anyway, they're getting some good fish, and I like reading about them in the spearfishing mags and so on. And anyway, thanks for putting up with us a lot. And enjoy.
Thanks.
This is pretty impromptu. I've prepared nothing because I've been screwed all week. But look, the Dolphins has been a great part of my life. I joined back in about 1965 when guys like Johnny Black and Jack Jones and Freddie Ledwell, I think Fred Nann was still active. And I've formed some great friendships that have lasted me ever since then, and hopefully a long time into the future. Simon's old man Rick was one of the first blokes to ever lead me astray, and I appreciate that, Simon. Your grandparents' pub was a great place to hang out, even if I was only 15. But there you go. As I say, the Dolphins have been a great part of my life. I was president for a few years, I was sports secretary for many years, and we went through a really great period, and then in the mid-80s, we very nearly folded. There was about 9 of us active in the club, and if we didn't get everyone to an element, we couldn't even come in third. It was just amazing, and we even thought at one stage of amalgamating with St George. I know that's a very black thing to think of, but it was a case of whether the club survives in any form whatsoever. And I'm so glad to see all you guys gathered here today that we didn't do it, because I couldn't be more proud of the way the Dolphins have gone. The guys like Simon and Pucko and all those guys have picked up the baton and run with it. And I just hope the Dolphins go from strength to strength. It really pleases me to see you all going so well. And that's about it.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know me, I am a second generation member. My father, Glenn Coulis, joined the Dolphins back in '89 and dived the elements for a few years. Mum would always take me to watch the weigh-ins, and my favourite of all, the Sydney Cup fish auction, watching Pat Mullins screaming his lungs out. Dad let the Dolphins go for a couple of years due to family commitments, and him and I would always do our social rock hops on family holidays and some weekends to South Maroubra. In '95, I went for a rock hop in a huge southerly swell out off South Maroubra with an old neighbour and ex-Dolphin Jeff Dixon, he's not here today. Jeff had mentioned to Merv Sheehan that I was a keen spearo and that Simon Tripp should get me in as a sub-junior. Simon then contacted the family home and arranged for my mum to take me to my first meeting. So off to the Rockdale Tennis Club I went with my 90cm Sea Hornet laser for show and tell. These guys bring carbon fibre guns to show and tell today. That night I officially signed up to be a Dolphin. After a couple of years of rock hopping the elements and trying to get boat rides, Rusty Woods took Dad and I on to be part of his crew. I started winning some sub-junior sections in the elements and decided I wanted my own boat. From tinnies to runabouts, I went through them all. Brett Elson joined the club and became Dad when my dad wasn't able to take me away. Brett used to tow the family boat to every comp I wanted to dive. From Eden to Woolgoolga, we dived them all. As the years passed, the club began to be quite big when Dan Galea came in. and then I met Huff, my bum chum, and we come inseparable after that. Along with Dutchy, Dino and Shane Brampman, we were the young guns, not just North Shore. Always trying to outdo each other. Huff and I aimed to get a place at the Tri-State titles in Eden each year, and yeah, we succeeded a couple of times. I think it was just a thrill of screaming across Twofold Bay in the 200 that we liked more than diving the actual comp. I've got stories to tell for hours, but these are the stories that actually remind me of where I began and how I came to be president today. 60 years and still going strong. This is a huge achievement for the club, the actual Souci Dolphins. May the club continue to grow for generations to come. Please raise your glasses to the Dolphins. Thanks, guys.
Oh, the Dolphin girls. Some of the Dolphin girls have arrived. Julie Downey. Julie Downey's had 10 wines. Mrs. Stringfellow. Hi, Julie. All right. Hey, Freddie. Fred. Can you come up, Fred? I'm going to ask a few old Dolphins to come up and present some of these trophies and shields. All right. Everyone's having a good time. Hey, the raffle draw for $5,000 is on now. I thought that'd get your attention. Look, firstly, there's two things that we wish to do. One is the club presentation. Firstly, though, I have some Aluminium trophies here that we've got. And some of you may have been looking at them, and the history of the Dolphins on it is quite special. This year, the Dolphins retained the Aluminium Shield. We did tie with St George, unfortunately, but seeing as we won it last year, we keep the shield, which is good. The Dragons aren't happy about that, which I'm sure you're all pleased with. We also, there's grades as well now, and the Dolphins won A, B and C grade as well. We're also fortunate enough to take out a couple of the individual honours. And firstly, I'd like to give recognition to the Aluminium individual champion. To me, it's a very special feat what he has done. The first full year of competition in an Aluminium Shield. I met the guy a couple of years ago at a council meeting with Bondi Council wanting to shut Bondi Beach down with blue groper. And the young gentleman who I met with another mate of his, Ben Bayfield, smashed the council and their experts on blue groper. The man's very knowledgeable on fish. He's a marine biologist, and his knowledge was amazing. I invited them out to come out for a dive with me, and they got lured into the competition, which was great for the Dolphins. And there've been a good bunch of guys, Ben, Evan and Derek Cruz, who won the Aluminium Shield champion. So I've just got the shield trophy here, and I'd like to hand it to Derek. Where are you, mate? He's very modest, Derek. And this is Fred Mann, one of the founding members of the club, first president, first club champion. Derek, I'll get you to say a few words, but I'll just grab this trophy again from you. And look, either side, I'll look at it. We've got here John Black, Vic Lee, Ian Puckeridge, Andrew Turvey. There is a Dolphin on here somewhere. Ian Puckeridge again. Alan Badger on here. Len Goldsmith, Paul Rosso. Yeah, and sorry, anyone else I've missed from the Dolphins that have won this? There's been quite a few of us. So it's quite prestigious to win. Well done, mate.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Half of this goes to Simon, really. He introduced us to the Dolphins and Alan Diagon. Pretty much brought us from not knowing what species to target, nothing basically. And within a few months we had half an idea, and we've just been having fun along the way, and sometimes we do okay, and we're still learning, so hopefully next year we can do a little bit better. But, yeah, thanks Simon, we owe a lot to you.
I think ability has everything to do with it, Derek. Nothing to do with me. Good on you, mate. You can grab that, but I need it back. Get a couple of photos of it. Cheers. Next, we've got the actual Alaman Shield that's been won by the Dolphins. And Wade Corliss. Oh, Fred, you can... Okay, Blackie, come up, Blackie. Johnny's there. I haven't said hello to Johnny yet.
That's all right, Simon.
How are you, mate? Good to see you.
The girls were petrified they didn't even going to bring the wine along.
Oh, mate.
They said, you're bringing the wine and you were late.
So, where's Wade Corliss? So you're right there. Johnny, can you hand that over to Wade, please, mate?
This is?
The beautiful Alaman Shield. From past president to current president.
Amazing what they use. Oh, sorry.
We've also got the junior champion. Is Aaron still here? Aaron Puckridge?
He's been waiting, mate.
Oh, here.
Well done, mate. So Aaron obliterated the juniors, and he missed the last Alaman Shield. I think, did you finish in the top 10? He might have just been in the top 10 of the Alaman as well. Aaron's 15, 16 now? 17 now. So it's an outstanding achievement for a junior to do so well up in the open placings. Aaron is also the current New South Wales state champion as well, beating all the open. So phenomenal.
I'm not trying to make myself known, but I did walk around a few of the younger guys and ask them what they're up to and everything else, and he was very modest. He didn't tell me you were running so hot in this sort of game, mate. He said, I just have a bit of a swim around Bondi now and then, a spearfish or two. So, oh, that's nice. Yeah, you know. Congratulations, mate. You've done fantastic.
And a shield that's worth as much to me as winning the Alaman is the four-man team. I remember growing up, Andrew Turvey, Mick Martin, Vic, Les, John, Rocky, all of those boys were always keen to win the four-man team against the Whalers and the Dolphins. The Whalers and the Dragons. And we smashed it this year. Can Emmanuel Bova come up? Because I think he was in the four-man team every Alaman. If you're there, mate, just to grab hold of that one. Where have we hidden it? Where have we hidden it? It was a big chunky shield. Where was it? Underneath. There it is. Thanks, Johnny. Emmanuel, cheers, mate. Yeah. Very keen competitor. Emmanuel was second runner-up in the Alaman Shield. It was very close between him and Derek. So it came down to the last competition. Good fishing, Emmanuel. Largest brim, with 1,055 grams, largest brim, is Aaron Puckridge. Aaron? And Aaron, while you're here, you also got the largest luderick for the year, 1,085. Now, we need all these trophies back today, mate, so get a few photos and we get them back. Largest goatfish was 1.3 kilos, 1,305 with Derek Cruz.
There's another.
Derek, sorry, while you're here, mate. Largest red mohawk, 2,000 grams.
Trumpeter. Simon, trumpeter.
Yeah, Derek, you also got the trumpeter, but you're tied with Peter Manolis. Peter Manolis, 2,050 grams. Pete, where are you? Peter Manolis? He was here doing chin-ups somewhere. Here he is. Oh, here. Oh, Muscles. How are you, mate? Thanks, Pete. I've noticed, I've gone back a few years in Alaman scores. The Alaman was a bit awry with scoring. They haven't done a presentation in 3 years. And I noticed that Pete's fished just about every Alaman. He always fishes when we need him, brings his boat, fills it up with 5 or 6 blokes. Always says, bring it on, and happy to do his bit for the club. You're a good club man, Peter. Really appreciate it. What have we got left? Okay, largest rock blackfish was a corker, 4.475, Emmanuel Bova. Good kick, mate. Now it's sharp. If you go to sleep with it, it's going to hurt, mate, when you roll over. Now, kingfish, we didn't get a dew fishing competition this year, but kingfish was a reasonable one, a good one, 16.5 kilos by Evan Leeson. And Evan, you've also got the largest fish as well, mate, once I find that trophy, which was the kingy, that one there, which is the Paul Batty Memorial. Congratulations, mate. Yeah, put those down, and you've got one more too, mate. You got the most meritorious fish, which is a cracker shield, and that's the Roger Sleet. Do we remember Roger Sleet, guys? Yes. Yeah. The Roger Sleet shield, and that was an unusual fish for this time of for the year. We did only have 6 alamans. It was a red rock cod, 1.93 kilos, so 115-point red rocky. So a thumper of a fish. Good red rocky. We get down to the nitty-gritty. We'll start with, where can I start? Oh, we'll do Rockhopper. Rockhopper was won by Aaron Puckeridge with 995 points. Aaron? Thank you, Aaron. Aaron's going, how did I win that? Well, that's your 2-day effort at the state titles, mate. That was the sole rock hopping comp we had.
Thank you.
We'll do, let's do most species. Most species, we'll start with C grade, was 13 species, and that was Sam Pointer, who's a mate of Aaron. So Aaron, you better run back. B grade. B grade most species was Pat Mullins. Pat Mullins. That's the shield. Most species, sorry, mate. C grade. C grade most species, mate. But I'll need it back. Get a photo of it. Stir it up. C grade, that's where it's at, Sam. B grade. Aaron, oh, while you're here, mate, you also got most species A grade, 26 species A grade, Aaron. It's a huge effort. And that is B grade, what's that? That's the element, most meritorious. Oh, here. Is it? No, I just saw it. Oh, here. It's the John Black Shield. We should have got you up again, Blackie. The John Black Shield, most species for the year, championship year, 26. Now, who can I get? Johnny Downey, you're standing there, mate, with your arms crossed without a beer. You look lonely. Come on. John Downey, a former president of the Dolphins. Johnny, can you present the last couple of trophies? We've got C-grade champion here, which was Alex Del Popolo. I haven't seen Alex yet. Is he not here? Okay, he's been and gone. All right, then we got B-grade champion, which was Pat Mullins. B-grade, Pat.
You gave it away 20 years ago.
Now, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty for the year. The runner-up for the club champion. And what I've enjoyed about this, I think there's only 2 people that know who's won the championship and the club champion. It came down to 5 of our divers. We've had an A grade that's quite strong this year. A lot of the divers have gone up. I think we've got a dozen divers in A grade, and all of them are worthy to be in A grade. They all fish very competitively in the Alaman. I checked and rechecked the scores. It was pretty close. It came down to just a competition. And the runner-up for the year is Derek Cruz. Derek Cruz with the club runner-up. Now the club champion. Now, stand up. Now, Fred Nann's on there from 1957-58. Blackie's on there numerous times. There's Mick Martin, Andrew Turvey, Neville Price is on there. Who else? Les Gleaves is another winner up there. Les, you're up the top here, mate. You got pole position, 1977-78. Neville Price, another club champion. Who else have I missed? Ian Puckeridge, club champion. My father's on there. I'm on there. Peter Walsh is on there. Paul Rosso. Oh, he's not here. Froggo's not here. Paul Morris, yeah. Paul's on there, but Paul isn't here, unfortunately, today. I think that about covers who's here. The club champion this year is very worthy Evan Leeson. Come on down. Well done, mate. Say a few words.
I don't know what to say. I'm very new to the country and new to the club, as you can hear from my accent. I only intended to stay in this country for 6 months, and after all this diving with Tripp and the boys, it's almost 3 years later now, and I don't intend to leave. I've just had way too much fun. I love it here. I love the club, and yeah, it's an honour.
Good man, mate. Well deserved. Guys, I'll wrap up proceedings. I've just got this last trophy that I'll hand out to the guys if they want to have a photo with it. We keep all the trophies now. They just got out of hand, getting too hard to find. So they all come back. Remember, please, you get your photo and hand them back up here. Would be great. I'm going to 2013. This is, we call this the Pucko. Ian Puckeridge donated this trophy. It's a beautiful piece by an old diver called Alec Howard. Some of you may remember him. I think he was in Bankstown Barnacles. He was one of those boys back in the day, and he moved up to the North Coast. And he made some beautiful handmade trophies through the 90s and the early part of this century. As soon as I find 2013, what have they done to me? And we have it, it's a pelagic species list, and there's a minimum weight, so they're normally pretty good fish that get on here. We've had Ben Bayfield with a 23 kilo Spanish, Wes Batty 23 kilo cobia, Aaron Puckeridge with a 20 kilo Samson fish, Parry Grillis with a 24 kilo Mulloway, Jeff Buchanan with a 52.5 kilo sailfish, and Alice Lewis just the other weekend got a little Samson fish 17 kilos, so that was worthy to go on there too, which is a good fish. So there's some outstanding fish on there. There's quite a few. It's been in concept for 10 years or more. So guys, those names I've called out, you're more than welcome. Come up, get a photo with it, and a round of applause to you all. It's open 365 days of the year, that's you. I'll wrap up, guys. Thanks a lot. I'd just like to say before I go, I've been talking a little while, thanks so much to Ali, wherever you are, thank you, and your wife, your lovely wife. Beautiful, mate. Huge effort for food. I'm looking forward to the spit. Sammy Kay up the back there. Thanks, Sam, for everything you've done. Ben Lake, obviously the committee, Wade Corliss, Parry Grillis, Jason Montez. If I've forgotten anyone else, forgive me. And to all of you guys, it sort of blows me away. When we did that one 5 years ago, that was the 55th that we did, I sort of took stock and went, yeah, here we go. met Freddie and Ann, met Blackie again. I can remember Lloyd and Evelyn always teasing me when I was a little baby. So great to see Jack Jones and Jan Jones. And Dad grew up, you know, telling me about all these guys and the great times he had. I went away taking a lot of stock out of that and just realised it's 60 years old, this club. It's just amazing, the history in it and the times. And there's books, sports books and minutes books out there on the table. If you want to go through them, look after them because they're treasures. And the stories and what you guys did and what we're doing today and the traditions that have gone on. Great mates, good times, and lots of fond memories. So cheers, I'll leave it with that. Enjoy. We're here till midnight apparently. So there's beers. Have fun. Take care.